Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. 1010%. Glad to see you guys. Hope you guys had an amazing, fun, safe, loving weekends with those you hold dear. Hope you guys, just got off a fresh start of some football. I know some Monday Night Football's on right now. I'm trying to keep my tabs on it. Speaking that in my league, I have someone in there right now that's like I need them to perform great. So obviously, those who are NFL fans as well as wrestling fans, obviously y'all could feel your boy here at this moment in time, going through a lot of emotions, frustrations, and depression at the same time. I'm just kidding. No, moving on. Well, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today on tap. We have our WWE Smackdown review, and we're going to talk about some Monday Night Raw. We're also going to talk about Samantha Irving not randomly. Well, not, I hope it's, obviously I was always told, there's usually a philosophy in life that you never really leave an opportunity unless you kind of have one already lined up. So my hope is obviously, I wish for her future endeavors. She gave us a lot of memories as the Monday Night Raw, ring announcer. She was amazing. She was great. She definitely had a lot of emotions, was very empathetically and sympathetically invested in with everybody on the Monday Night roster, SmackDown roster, NXT, you name it. She was there. So I just, it's a hit. It's some people say it's just as simple as losing a ring announcer, but I think it's much more than that because that's how talented this woman was. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Vince McMahon. In a recent article, according to the Rolling Stone, they interviewed a couple of writers that served under Vince McMahon, and they just said it was a hostile environment. He used intimidation and fear to get what he wanted. So we're going to dive on into that in our fifth and final segment. We're going to talk about Sting. Sting inks a new contract with AEW. What does it mean for AEW? What does it mean for Sting's legacy? And we're going to go back and talk about the Stinger a little bit back in the AWA, the WCW, WWE, and TNA. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, we want you guys to feel absolutely 110% comfortable. Go ahead and share whatever's on your chest. We are all ears, 1,010%. We are here for you guys. Also, it helps keep the conversation, the podcast very, keeps it lively. Also, I want to make sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. Make sure that you guys feel like your hot takes are taken in consideration as well. Other than that, it's just me yelling into the mic for like an hour. Who wants to do that? And so make sure you guys participate. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets addressed on the show, why not use that super chat? Just go ahead and drop that thought, that chat, that hot take inside that box, with the dollar sign on it, and it's guaranteed to be featured and debated about and talked about on the show. Your super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on with all these amazing podcasts, with these amazing podcasters who are absolutely phenomenal at what they do. Absolutely phenomenal. These guys are entertaining guys. They're good guys. Good podcasters who just want to do one thing only, bring you guys awesome sports content Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys send in those super chats, support the GSMC Sports Network, and I guarantee you, you'll do no wrong. Pretty much thank you guys in advance. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this wrestling party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, you can still hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. But of course, in terms of talking sports, criticisms and debates are not only encouraged. It's it happens. It happens. So feedback is a gift, 1,010%. Like, subscribe to the GSMC Sports Network, to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So without further ado, let's talk about some WWE Smackdown. Overall, I felt like it was a great show. It was, and I know I say that every single time I break down SmackDown. But this time, you know what? Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give it a 4.1. A lot of I kind of went into the SmackDown into the WWE Smackdown, kind of knowing exactly what to expect. It was a curve. There was a couple curveball or two, but I was able to keep my eye on the ball, But first we start off. We had the Bloodline kicking off. Solo Sikoa comes out, and right off the bat, he mentions his brother Jey Uso. And there's not really much to tell, except for the fact that Solo Sikoa really hopes that Jey Uso stays out of this. Something that I kind of, and I feel like maybe WWE kayfabe kind of, you know, they sold it. You had Solo Sikoa go out there, and for the first time, I thought Solo could have, he could have decent promo. I thought it was pretty great. You could just he knows how much momentum Jey Uso has with the WWE universe. He knows how much he has in terms of experience. He's not that tag team wrestler who tags with Jimmy. He's not that same guy. This guy's a whole different, definition of the word WWE superstar. So Solo Sikoa obviously wants to get the J, wants to, obviously he did not acknowledge him. Obviously he was like, you know what, I want the fan to stay together. You guys feel like you guys are splitting it up. Why did you have to bring these guys? Obviously talking to Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu, you know, um, and I'm happy these guys made it to WWE. I really am. Under this storyline, it's amazing. In any other circumstances, if there wasn't a bloodline civil war kind of going down here, I feel like out of the three, the only one that would really survive would be Jacob Fatu, which is an amazing, phenomenal wrestling talent that deserves to be in WWE. Well, they all deserve to be in WWE. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to, prove that one's better than the other. Although Tungaloa sometimes, he homeboy tests my patience with his botches and stuff like that. And I know it's live TV and botches do happen, but you get paid all this money, you have all this practice and stuff like that. Like, I'm neither here nor there, so I'm gonna skip that. But yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy. It was a good promo. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good promo. Jey Uso has made it clear to Solo Sikoa that he is out. He does not want anything to do with this feud with Roman Reigns. If he comes into this, it's gonna have to be Solo Sikoa bringing him into it. You had that backstage promo with Roman trying to apologize to Jimmy as well. Last time you saw Jimmy Uso going with Jey Uso in the same ring, in the same arena. You saw them going at it at WrestleMania 40, and it wasn't really great. So you can hardly you have to what Jey Uso is going through. Like, he does not want to be part of this, which is 1,010%. Wrestling fans want him to pursue his singles career, and he's been doing fantastic. He is the WWE Intercontinental Champion, knocking off one of the most dominant uprising future stars of WWE with Braun Breaker. Slowing down Jey Uso and having him be a part of this bloodline would, it could be good. And I'm not trying to crap on it or anything like that, but it could be actually really bad and detrimental to the momentum that he's already built. Finally winning that singles superstar, singles championship. If so, I feel like if Jey Uso loses the Intercontinental Championship, it's gonna be because of Solo Sikoa. And then kind of furthering, digging in deeper to this thesis of this narrative that's painted about the bloodline and how they're going to have a civil war at War Games, which is obviously at the end of the day, you're kind of rooting for that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say that you're going to be completely blinded by the fact that Jey Uso did win his singles title and he only held it for like a week, 2 weeks tops, and he's gonna, and he loses it. But if somehow, some way, Solo Sikoa kind of gets involved, I feel like at this point, and that's just me as a WWE Universe kind of guy, um, I feel like ultimately, obviously, it won't be okay for his singles career. But in terms of the storyline, this storyline is building up to like WrestleMania caliber stuff. Anything could happen. Jey Uso maybe possibly could be heading toward his first Royal Rumble win. Like, we don't know. But at the end of the day, if I had to kind of bet the house on it, I would rather, then you have both these storylines that are kind of hanging in the balance. You have, Jay Uso's Intercontinental Championship singles run. Then you also have this badass Civil War that could possibly happen. Can he have both? Can he be the Intercontinental Champion and maintain, relevancy, or kind of help Jimmy and Roman along this Civil War? I think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible, especially heading toward I don't really think the brand split is going to be really that tight until maybe WWE Raw starts on Netflix. Other than that, I feel like until then, both they're on the same network, they're on the same USA network. These guys are literally traveling together. You saw Jimmy Uso on Monday Night Raw last week. You saw Tiffany Stratton. So there's no doubt in my mind that there's probably going to be more of a crossover that a lot of people don't really, they're not anticipating and seeing. But in terms of the storyline and with the Civil War with the Bloodline, I feel like I don't want to see him lose the Intercontinental title. I think he's a great champion right off the bat. He's so over. He is so over with the fans. But then again, makes me kind of contemplate and be like, you know what? He's so over to the fact that he can lose it, and then a couple of months down the line, just regain it right back. You know what I mean? So I don't know, kind of crazy stuff. We have a tag team eliminator match. We have the Street Profits with DIY, Pretty Deadly. You had DIY in a dramatic fashion winning the match. Not really surprised that they did win. I was kind of happy that they did. But then again, I still feel for the Street Profits. Talented individuals, Montez Ford. Still, every single time he steps into the squared circle, has me absolutely blown away. This guy's the future WWE champion, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental United States. But I like Montez Ford. I like the Street Profits. I feel like they have a huge future with the WWE already. I know Montez Ford. He had his. I think it was like back during the pandemic where he had an incident where he collapsed inside the ring. I'm not too sure if it was kayfabe or not. You know, perhaps not booking him into more of a consistent, more of a stable position like you would as a singles competitor because of his health, and that's the only reason why I feel like this guy hasn't gotten a push already. That's the only reason why I feel like these guys aren't wrestling full time as the WWE Tag Team Champions, because the Bloodline, I feel like the Bloodline, Tamatanga Tangaloa, are detrimental to the tag team division. And I'm not trying to hate. I think they're a great tag team. But when the Bloodline holds the belts, dominance follows. And right now, if you are trying to boost the tag team division on both Monday Night Raw and WWE Smackdown, you kind of have to have a little bit of a, competition. And right now, you kind of think about it, you're like, every single time the Bloodline steps in, they're going to win, and it's just, as a WWE fan, I don't feel like it's great for the tag team division. I don't think, as a fan, it's not really fun also, because, when tag team wrestling is done really, really well, it's amazing. You could definitely, it can main event, not a PLE, it can main event probably Raw or SmackDown. So, should be crazy to kind of find out what happens. But then Piper Niven taking on Lash Legend. Lash Legend in a extremely impressive performance knocks off Piper Niven. You saw the Kevin Owens promo, like I said before. I think I said it on Friday. I don't like this new character that Kevin Owens is being portrayed. He's kind of seems like a whiny like B word. Like it's not fight Owens fight. Like he's not that Kevin Owens that we all grew up, that we all watched, kind of being brought up with the NXT. You kind of saw him on Monday Night Raw a little bit, but I don't like it. I was ultimately opposed for him to go absolutely heel. I go so far off the spectrum. It's like, beyond, reconciliation. I wanted him to kind of keep that possibility of an alliance with Randy Orton. But I don't know. I just feel like so far with Kevin Owens' new heel turn, I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like he could definitely be. He's more than what he is. And he's trying to fight for that WWE contract. He was offered. He was offered a. He was. I don't know. I don't know the quite number, but he was offered a deal. He was offered a deal in WWE. AEW failed to match it or better, so now he's still like he's in talks with WWE. Maybe give him a couple of maybe like $100,000 more. Keep him on the main roster because he's great. He could be the future WWE champion. And it seems like after everything that's happened on Friday Night SmackDown, if he doesn't beat Cody Rhodes, it's this whole heel push. And we actually talked about it in the chat on Friday. I think it was my boy Logan James, or I think it was Curve and Abreu. I'm not too sure. But like it's pointless. Like it seems like why would you do it? Why would you have Kevin Owens turn on Cody Rhodes and stuff like that? But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Rapidly finishing this up. I know I'm running out of time. You saw Motor City Machine Guns in their debut on Friday Night SmackDown take down A-Town Down Under and Legado del Fantasma. Nia Jax teamed up with the WWE inaugural Women's Speed Champion Candace LeRae, knocked off Bayley and Naomi. Roman Reigns at the end of the night once again refused to acknowledge Solo Sikoa, and at the same beat down because Jimmy Uso was telling him that, hey man, we need help, but he refuses to listen. I feel like he did try to kind of reconcile with Jay, but I don't know. As of right now, Jay Uso is he's off the table. So who will Roman and Jimmy try to try to you know get to join their crew? And only time will tell. All right, guys. So hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our Monday Night Raw talk. We're going to preview it. Also talk about some of the hot topics on the brand as well. So hey, do not go anywhere.